Greetings and bienvenue, crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I've been in the Army since 2008. 4chan before Army and still do sometimes so that I can drop some info here and there about shady stuff I've seen. But now's the time for weird shit. Basic training week 4, field training 3, and we are doing dumb in a woods laser tag Army games for training. Been a long day of lucky shots and very narrowly escaping capture, and even more narrowly escaping being wounded or killed. Laser tag equivalent of all that shit anyway. Get the all clear time to come back in and form up a call over the loudspeakers wired up in the training area. Normal BS personnel check, oh wait, where's Snuffy and Janie? Type of crap. There were always two, and they were always being idiots. Eating without being told to, trying to get laid when they know it will get them kicked out, etc. etc. We do weapons count. Some hyper-observant lucky dude found a live loaded RPG and wanted to keep it. No clue where or how he had found it other than he had whacked his knee on it while getting under cover to avoid enemy players. Drills are pissed and amazed. Pissed that it was out there unaccounted for. Amazed that he dumb recruit hadn't accidentally blown himself or someone else up with it. I must emphasize the guy was lucky because he was not dead, not because he found the damnable thing. Anyhow, MPs were called to come take the weapon while we sat and waited. Then MRE dinners were passed out to us and we ate and got some rest in prep for the same things we had just done, but at night. Lucky for me, I'm a sneaky guy and I am better in a firefight at night than I am during the day. For whatever insane reason, I can't explain it. Halfway through the scenario, it starts to rain a little and the wind picks up. A really serious wind is really serious and wants us to go on an adventure with it. I realized, holy shit, tornado! The loudspeaker was reading my mind. Everybody haul ass back to base camp and pack your stuff, we're pulling out, it's a tornado. We comply, the woodland creatures also comply. We pack our stuff in a hurry while deer and birds and trash pandas and bobcats and owls, etc. follow us out of the woods and hang around looking scared while we stand in formation. Bambi, his mom, and his dad all decide to stand in the 4th rank next to me, like it's perfectly normal for them to stand in formation with the humans. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. One of the scariest I've ever seen was when I looked up and saw the clouds begin to converge from opposite directions and start to spin slowly. Execute empty bowels.x. Buses roll up, we load up, Bambi and his family try to join us but get denied. While one smart trash panda snuck on while we weren't looking and stole some girls' MRE gum. Later that year, Grafenwoehr, Germany, November 2011, drivers training for military vehicles. Our instructor got special permission for us to go to the old town Hopfenhoe in the middle of the impact training site at Grafenwoehr during drivers training. I recorded it as best I could to document it using my iPod Touch 4. Even uploaded it to YouTube for my Facebook friends, but it's gotten views from other people since then. Only thing left standing is the church. It's riddled with bullet holes and it's crumbled beyond repair, and the roof and balconies are gone. There is still a small shrine to Mary out there that someone keeps leaving stuff at. No idea who though. While we were there, after I had stopped recording, I saw a guy in what looked like Catholic priest clothes from the 30. I called out to him to try and talk to him with my limited German language skills, more like non-existent. Because there were no vehicles there other than the Humvees and the whole place should be totally abandoned because it's an impact site for tanks and heavy artillery to train with. He got startled and ducked behind a wall, so I chased after him. My reward was finding nothing and getting the spooks. Ask if anyone else had seen him. Nope. Instructor talks to me and explains he's seen the guy a few times, figures it's a ghost, but not a problem ghost, just a hangout and not much type of ghost. I got more if anyone is interested. Basic Training Barracks Ghost is an asshole. Basic Training Week, the 2nd of February 2011. After a long-ass march to the shooting practice range in the biting cold with no heat, and not being allowed to wear any cold weather gear other than a Gore-Tex jacket that doesn't do a goddamn thing other than trap your own body, sweat steam, and then soak you and make you colder. We get told to clean our weapons before we are allowed to do anything else. Then it's clean our own muddy, nasty butts, then the barracks afterwards. Well, there we are sitting down at around 8 p.m., cleaning weapons and huddled back to back to generate and conserve heat, because the barracks did not have heat either, and some asshole screams, "Fire." We don't smell smoke. Drills say to GTFO while they check the building because fire alarms are going off. We all think the drills are messing with us just to screw with us as per usual. Now we are all outside in the biting wind and the bone-shattering cold for 30 minutes when I get tapped along with another guy to go in with the drills and sweep the building to find the fire or evidence of a fire at all. Drills turn off the fire alarm and we go in. Basement nothing, first floor nothing, second floor nothing, third floor nothing, fourth floor still nothing. Now I know these assholes are messing with us. On the way down from the fourth floor, I'm the last guy and someone shoves me and I tumble down a flight of stairs. Lucky me, I didn't take any damage. I yell, "What the hell, asshole?" Guy in front of me replies, "What? I didn't do shit, you slipped." No, somebody shoved me pretty damn hard. Look up the stairs, the lights are on, but there's a dark shadow filling a corner on the floor under a bright light. WTF.jpg. Keep eye contact and ask the guy on the stairs below me, "You see that?" Yes, he sees it, and no, he does not want any of it. Go get the drills, they need to see this shit. I'm going keep eye contact. He understands how spoops work too, and he goes and returns with the drills. The shadow didn't move or do shit while he was gone. Drill shows up. "Why the hell did you leave your battle buddy, you dumbass?" He screams at us for a minute about the buddy system. I've had enough of his bullshit not listening, so I point and say, "Drill Sergeant, look." Drill Sergeant executes WTF.X. He approaches it. I stop him and say, "Take my M16 because iron." Iron does actually do stuff against evil, and ghosts, that shit is legit. The drill sergeant knows this too. The drill sergeant shoves the muzzle of the weapon into the shadow and it moves up to the ceiling and screams "fire" again, and the fire alarm goes off again. Then it starts laughing at us as it sets off the sprinkler system. "All right, privates," the drill begins GTFO. We comply. Once outside, the drill goes to talk to the other drills, and the other privates ask us what happened. Word spreads and concerns are voiced. Greek Orthodox drill sergeant ain't gonna take no shit from a ghost. Walks to his car and grabs a prayer rope and a flask of what I assume is holy whiskey. Turned out to be holy water, and this guy has had this particular ghost be a problem before. He marches in and comes back out a few minutes later, giving the all clear with the fire alarm and sprinklers stopped. Drills all confirm that we should stay in the on-post hotel for the night and come back tomorrow to clean this fiasco up. Next day, we are mopping up water and drying anything that was not in a waterproof bag or in a locker. I throw my stuff in the dryer. Another private says I should stay by it while it dries because the ghost will apparently open the dryers and pull everything out as soon as we exit the room. I comply. Next guy doesn't. Things went on like that for the rest of basic, but nothing like the fire alarm incident. Advanced Individual Training Barracks Ghost is an even bigger asshole. The basic training ghost calmed down after getting blasted by the Greek Orthodox Christian drill instructor. When I got to advanced individual training, the ice-pocalypse was over, but I was now on the East Coast and tropical storms just loved us there. So too did the ghost that lived in the barracks and was perverted. I get to my room mid-afternoon and I have been given time along with the other people that arrived with me to that location to go and get some fat boy food from Taco Bell and also some time to chillax and get some interwebs and call family and loved ones, yada yada. I get my stuff put away, dress right. Dress how my roommate has his stuff. That room was glorious. 4 beds, 2 guys, 4 lockers. We each used 2 lockers. 2 pillows and the AC was on full blast, 24/7, which was wonderful because it was hot as hell outside and almost nobody's AC worked in the rest of the building. So our room became the hangout spot to cool off after a long day. And even though they weren't supposed to, the females from the middle floor would come up to our room to cool off. Anyway, I go to get food, and being a good soldier, I pay a cab to take me and 3 others back to the barracks. We arrive, and then I go up to the room to eat and internet. Open the door, and there on the floor a plethora of women's underthings. Okay, who is the prankster? This ain't funny, come on guys, who did it? Haha, nice laugh, seriously, come get your shit, you doofus. Roommate comes back from the common area where TV is playing some football game. WTF? What? Anon, did you do this? No, I just got back with tacos, want one? He did, but he wanted to know where the underwear had come from more than he wanted a taco. A female comes storming up the stairs screaming about her missing property from the dryer. Barges into our room because it is immediately across from the top of the stairs and sees her stuff. She WTFs and bitches and we explain it wasn't us and tell her everything. She does not believe us. Goes to the commander downstairs. Commander reviews security footage. Security cam is at either end of hallway and in middle, as well as all stairwell entrances and exits. They show her taking her stuff to the laundry room, me arriving and my roommate leaving the room, then me going up the stairs and into the room, then my roommate running to the room, and then her going into the laundry room and then storming out and up the stairs and into our room. There is nothing showing when or even how her stuff got there. So we are exonerated, and the Barracks Ghost is blamed. Sir, what do you mean we have a ghost? Well, private, these buildings are old, and most military buildings are haunted if they are more than 5 or so years old. It's a thing. Usually they were soldiers, so they don't really do any harm, but they keep other harmful ghosts out. But they do sometimes get bored and like to prank new soldiers. Get used to it. We all boggle and WTF a little bit at him for this. He laughs it off. Over the next 3 months, Ghost threw my laundry out the window of the barracks during PT while the barracks were absolutely empty. Ghost made a geyser blast out of all the toilets and sprayed the ceiling and walls of all the stalls. Ghost stole all the female undergarments and put them on the roof while the roof access hatch was locked. Ghost got blamed for changing the common room computer's start pages to MITZU. And I know it had to have been the Ghost because every personal laptop and every officer and advanced individual training sergeant computer also got changed to MITZU. That Ghost was an asshole. Guard duty in Grafenwoehr is getting shelled by jackasses that are aiming the wrong way at the tank range. Okay, so this one is a little shorter because of my lack of direct involvement, but I remember the day clearly. Command sponsorship for my wife had finally been approved, and so she had finally joined me in Germany at my first duty station. Then the next day I get told during PT that I have barracks guard duty. It's called CQ for some odd reason, but it boils down to guard duty. So there I am in the barracks doing my guard duty, having my laptop out. Got some internet from the guy who has the room next to the east door. My sergeant is at the west door about a half a football field away. The German barracks were huge. There I am playing Oblivion on my PC because I had never played an Elder Scrolls game, and my best civilian friend said that it was only $7 with all its DLC on Steam. Everything is fine. I escape the Imperial dungeon and then I hear it. Ba-wah-hoom, rattle, rattle, rattle. The hell? Ba-wah-hoom, rattle, rattle, rattle. The window next to me was rattling and shaking like it wanted to go on vacation. I had heard the tanks going at it on the range before, and usually it was just the BBA-hoom sound in the distance. Never a VVVP like something just flew past, cutting the air like a knife, and usually the window did not rattle like it had changed its mind about being a window. Another one is heard, and another and another. The window is complaining about its lot in life, so I closed it and the nice breeze I was getting. This made it rattle more. I go and consult the sergeant on duty to see if maybe I'm crazy and just imagining it. Sergeant confirms it. I am not crazy. I am disappointed about that because I had already figured out that this was a bigger sound, but still similar to what you hear at the range if you are next to the side of the range while people are firing. To be exact, it's about 10 orders of magnitude bigger. They took a short break during lunch and then picked back up again. Finally, my sergeant had had enough and sent me up to battalion to ask WTF is going on. I go and I ask. I get told I'm an idiot and I'm wrong. Then on my way out the door, VV bish. Wahoom. Dirt in my face, dirt on my uniform, a fresh smoking 3-foot pit 6 feet from me to my left, execute empty bowels.x. In the pit I see some smoke. I walk over, bend down and brush dirt away from the very bottom of it and find a nice shiny tank round, still warm. Well, it was winter and I was wearing my thick leather gloves, so I picked it up and took it inside. I walk straight past the staff duty desk and the battalion commander's secretary and into the battalion commander's office and place it on his desk and say, "Sir, I think the guys on the tank range wanted you to have this, sir." He WTF at me and demands to know what WTF is about. I explain the day's events from my perspective. He shits his pants and bolts from his office past the battalion sergeant major who was getting ready to ruin my life. "Goddamn tank range idiots are shooting the wrong way," he explains as he runs past the sergeant major. Sergeant major follows and points at me and says, "Grab that and follow us now, private." I comply. Battalion commander goes to the radio room and scares the crap out of the radio duty guy, then scream into the radio range control. "This is battalion commander, main post Graf, shut down the tank ranges and artillery ranges, all of them right now. God damn it, main post is taking fire." "Roger, sir." We hear them sounding off to all ranges in Grafenwoehr, every one of them to shut down, no questions asked. Some idiot radios back. This is General so-and-so, I don't take orders from you. VP wham, wahum, and then car alarms. Private Anon, go see what got hit now. Move it. I move it to the sound of the car alarms. There before me is the smoking wreck of the battalion sergeant major's engine block from his personal vehicle. It's dead Jim. I show the picture to the battalion sergeant major and commander. Bat sergeant major asks, "Is that all that was hit?" Roger, sergeant major. Thank God for that then. They have me text the general's personal government BlackBerry the pic. General is a douche about it. Bat commander, radio general. That pic was taken in the parking lot over here at our battalion. Now stop firing, goddammit. The general is a douche and threatens him with insubordination, but stops firing. I then return to my post over at the barracks and finish the night playing Oblivion and breathing easy. The lesson to take away from this: if you are ever at an artillery or tank range, make damn sure you are firing the correct way before you fire. You might not be as lucky as these assholes were and only end up buying someone a new car. There are families that live on military bases. Seriously, think of the children. Not kidding there. That could have been someone's kid and not someone's car. The sergeant major was not even mad about his car getting shot. Quite the opposite. He was relieved that his car and some lawns were the only things to pay the price for the stupidity of a two-star general who should have known better. This one is short but has two parts. It's kind of funny to me, honestly. It was a little creepy then, but it was also funny at the time. Two different butter bar lieutenants. Two different occasions of doing staff duty. Both butter bars were scared shitless. That's what made it funny. Grafenwoehr 18th Combat Sustainment Support Battalion Office Ghost makes some copies. So there I am 1 month following the base getting shelled, and I'm on staff duty now at the same desk that I blew past when we were taking fire. I get there and the lieutenant says I am free to set up whatever I want to stay awake and entertained. I set up my computer and continue to play Oblivion. The day passes quietly and everybody goes home for the night. I call the building at ease as the battalion sergeant major goes home in his brand new tricked-out Bumblebee-styled 1980s Camaro. Man after my own heart, that car looked gorgeous. Called the building to attention as the battalion commander left for the night. 10 p.m. and alls. Well, I'm exploring some ruins in Oblivion and having a blast because the lieutenant is looking over my shoulder, having never played an Elder Scrolls game. Then we hear it. Thump, thump, thump from upstairs. We look at each other. You checked upstairs during your routine check I sent you on 30 minutes ago, right, Private First Class Anon? Yes, sir. All doors locked and lights out, nobody home but us. Odd. Coming down the stairs is a thump, thump, thump. Then the anti-door blows open by 5 or so inches and a light wind blows past us, goes at a right angle and into the men's restroom behind us. He looks at me, I look at him collectively. We WTF and look at the bathroom. Moments pass and a vile smell from hell wafts out as a toilet flushes itself, and then the sink runs some water, then stops and the wind happens again out from the bathroom. Right angles around us blows the door open 5 inches again, and then thump, thump, thumps up the stairs again. This is the most batshit thing I had seen at that point. We both WTF at this, and then I hear the thumping upstairs. The lieutenant is wide-eyed and says, "Go check that out." I go upstairs, I hear a copier going. It's running off blank pages. Every damn page in the machine is run through the machine. On my way back down, after turning off the copier, a broom falls out of the broom closet next to a small smattering of dust bunnies. Ghost wants me to sweep up, okay. I sweep up the upper floor and then mop it for good measure, then come back downstairs. Lieutenant is on the phone with someone and losing his shit. What do you mean there's a ghost? Why is there a ghost? Well, whose ghost is it? What do you mean you don't know? Why didn't you tell me about this before? Well, fuck your surprise. Rest of the night was pretty quiet. Sergeant Ghost, or maybe it was an officer. I have no idea. Anyway. The ghost plugged the copier back in and ran off a few more blank pages and used the toilet a few more times. Washed his hands every time though, so I guess it's a clean ghost. And the lieutenant failed to relax. I, on the other hand, was perfectly fine. The ghost didn't bother me. Just had me sweep and mop the place, which was part of my assigned duties while on staff duty anyhow. Next up, Battalion Ghost wants candy. Battalion Ghost wants candy. 3 months after the Battalion Ghost incident, I am on staff duty again. We are talking and I am setting up my laptop for some Oblivion. Mention the ghost to him. Wait, what? Yeah, there's a ghost that lives here. You didn't know that, sir? No, nobody bothered to tell me about the ghost. You're just kidding, right? No, sir. 3 months ago when I was on staff duty, the ghost made some copies and made a mess a few times. Also had me sweep and mop upstairs. Honestly, sir, he seems pretty harmless. So I don't figure there's any reason to worry. He's actually the third military ghost I have encountered since I joined the Army. Well, the lieutenant thinks I'm having some fun with him and he brushes it off. Day passes quietly, night falls, and people go home. Like clockwork at 10 p.m., the ghost begins its rounds and its late night shift. Thumping upstairs, coming to the stairs, then down the stairs, and gust of wind opens the door. Hangs a hard right around us into the bathroom. Nasty smell, toilet flushing by itself. Sink goes on, then off, wind out of the bathroom. Up the stairs, back down the hall to the copy room. Time to make my rounds. The lieutenant looked at me wide-eyed and shaking. What the hell was that? The ghost, sir. I wasn't kidding. That's about all it does, though. However, I do need to go upstairs and then unplug the copier and sweep and mop or he might get pissy. Go then. Yes, sir. I go and unplug the copier as it is spitting out blank pages again. I then went toward the broom closet where the light wind had begun to blow towards and caught the broom as it was falling. I sweep, I mop, all is normal. While playing more Oblivion, the ghost comes back toward the stairs again. This time it blows the opposite direction towards the vending machines. The vending machine starts to rattle a bit. I go check it out and notice a package of Skittles slightly wiggling like an air hose is pointed at it. So I buy the candy and let it sit in the machine. Nothing happens disappointing, but whatever. Take the candy out and then go upstairs and leave a few pieces on the copy machine, because why the hell not? Take the candy back to the desk and eat it while playing Oblivion. Ghost settled down for the night, apparently appeased by the candy. I did staff duty several times again after that before getting reassigned to Fort Eustis. Honestly, every night there was pretty quiet except for the ghost taking a shit and blowing around the place and making copies. It was a pretty chill ghost. Although one time I forgot to sweep and mop and that kind of pissed him off. I know it did because he kept throwing the broom and mop around upstairs. Maybe he was trying to clean it himself, but I took it as meaning, hey jackass, get up here and do your damn job. Barracks working girl with a heart of gold. Okay, so rewind to my first 4-day weekend at Grafenwoehr. I didn't know shit and I didn't know I was allowed to have fun yet. Somebody paid me with a TV to cover their CQ shift. There I am on CQ, a brand new private first class, straight out of basic, and not knowing shit. I hadn't bought Oblivion yet, so I was playing Deus Ex 1 on my laptop because it's one of my favorite games of all time. Well, I'm at the east door to the barracks and people are supposed to only come in through the west door and check in when they arrive to keep accountability of who is home and who is not. The door opens, a soldier comes in, a pretty blonde comes in. I begin to tell them to go down to the other end to check in. Get shushed by the soldier who smiles mischievously, and the pretty blonde smiles the warmest, kindest, gentlest smile I have ever had the delight to bask in. Needless to say, my heart melts a little and I pretend they don't exist. 45 minutes later, she comes back down and smiles at me with that same smile and goes outside. 5 minutes later, a different soldier, this time a brunette, had a similar smile. 45 minutes later, the brunette leaves quietly. 5 minutes later, a chestnut brown-haired girl and soldier come in, go upstairs. 45 minutes later, same story, same song and dance. They went in rotation like this all night. I finally understood they were German women, and they were working girls who serviced the guys in my company specifically. I know this because when a guy from a different barracks tried to pick one of them up while I was outside smoking, she turned him down and said she only spends time with people in this barracks, while I was out there. So, you on duty tonight? Yep, want to smoke? Thanks, but I have my own. You want company in the morning? I will be good to you and make breakfast? Thanks, that sounds wonderful, but I'm sorry I have to say no. Okay, well, if you change your mind, talk to me. I will take care of you like a wife would. Well, my heart is a puddle of mush after she said that. I go back in and finish the night. Morning comes and my replacement is soon to arrive. She comes in alone and talks to me quietly. Offers still stand. I make your breakfast and give you love. You look like you need some. Beside, you have been good for us tonight. I make it free. Thanks, but I really have to say no. I'm really tired, and I just want to sleep. She accepts this and leaves. I go to bed and crash. 9 months later, and it's another 4 days. This time I get screwed over by the guy that is supposed to replace me, and he doesn't show up, and I end up on duty for a solid 48 hours. The night begins as normal. The women come and go with the soldiers rotating in their same pattern. Heart and smile of heavenly gold blonde, lovely brunette, cute chestnut brown. Dawn of the second day. Blonde is propositioning me again and I am turning her down again, this time with the better argument of, I'm married and my wife is on post, but she has gone home to see family due to family crisis, yada yada. Well, my replacement never shows up, and the replacement sergeant thinks I'm full of shit until he checks the logbook and sees I am telling the truth. He calls around and makes a good show of trying to find me a replacement, but I get screwed over pretty hard. Night comes again and the rotation begins again. The blonde began her rotation around lunchtime and on her way out talked to me and asked me, "Why you still on duty? You should be sleeping. Where is your replacement?" I will explain the situation. That not good. Here I get you lunch, a good lunch that keeps you awake. That's really not necessary. I can go to the chow hall and... No, I did not hear it. I will get you lunch. You are good to us and for us by not interfering, so I pay it back and help you, and you cannot refuse. I was too tired to argue with her on the topic of something as trivial and platonic as a home-cooked meal. She leaves and returns with a bento box like Tupperware-ish dish of so much German food that I was able to eat it for lunch, snack on it through the day and eat it for dinner and snack on it all night. It was amazing, it was tasty, it was filling, and it kept me awake just like she promised it would. She even snuck me German beer with the food, and that actually helped me stay awake. Oddly, dawn of the third day and the moon looms in the sky like that one weird creepy uncle that never gets invited to family functions but still shows up anyway and then eats all the snacks, drinks all the beer, and gets handsy with his sister-in-laws and nieces. Just kidding about that moon bit, but goddamn I was tired and fighting not just to keep from getting killed in oblivion, but also from falling asleep. My relief does not arrive until lunchtime, but not before she scolds me again. "Why are you still here? Where's your replacement?" "I don't know. The sergeant on duty hasn't told me to go yet, and I'm seriously about to crash. Luckily, I still have the key to my old room here, so I'm just gonna crash in there before heading home. And tell you what, you give me the key to the room and I make some breakfast for you. Then when you are off, I let you in and help you shower and keep you warm while you sleep. Then when we wake up, we make love and I be your wife for the rest of the weekend. I can't. I'm married. My wife will be home soon, and if anyone sees us, then I will get into big trouble. Then I take you to your apartment and give same. I make it free. You need a good woman right now." She kept trying to win me over, but in the end I managed to refuse her. She nearly had me though. She has no idea how close she came to having me. She never got mad and she never got frustrated. She just kept being so damned wonderful. Had me wishing I was married to her by the end of it, but I had to refuse. German Bro Ghost. South of Grafenwoehr along the tank trail is a smaller base called Vilseck. South of that by a bit farther is Hohenfels. Hohenfels is a training area for joint ops by NATO forces. It's small, but the training area is huge and the damned helicopters go 24/7 whirly-birds. So it's October 2011 and I get fingered to go on this training mish to Hohenfels and move cargo because that's kind of my job in the Army. We had hard-building barracks that were basically big open bay, long-haul type houses with heaters under all the windows. And no AC, because in Germany, your AC is to open the window and let the breeze in. Sadly, it's a no drinking order type of training, but the small exchange stores that dot the barracked small township, which is the training area staging ground, all sell amazing German beer, and I'm thirsty for some. Well, most of the time there is downtime, a small vacation sitting on your ass watching movie and playing video games. I'm sitting there one night late playing some Oblivion because it's what I had, and I look out my window to the barracks next door where the Germans and Swedes are having a BBQ and drinking that good German beer. Damn it, I say to myself, as I regret not being able to partake. They knew we were there and they knew we couldn't drink, but they also knew we were allowed to have food, so they shared the barbecue and seasoned it with the beer, which was heavenly. I get tired and decide to hit the shower and go to bed. I come back to my bunk after braving the cold in my summer PT uniform, because the showers are about a half a city block away, and I hear a light tapping on my window. I look and see a bottle of Paulaner Munchen lightly tapping its uncapped brim against the window. WTF, now I need another shower. I open the window. Something you need to know about German windows. They are like doors, kind of. They have a handle on them that has a single joint where it connects to the window. So the windows are kind of awesome in Germany. They have a handle, and if you rotate that handle 90 degrees, it will open like a big old door. If you rotate it 180 degrees, it will vent open to allow a breeze in and freshen the air in the place. So anyhow, now that I am done with that tangent, so there's this opened bottle of beer gently tapping on my barracks window. I look through it, and there's no hand on it. I open the window and the beer stops moving. I take the beer and sip it, tastes perfectly normal, and drinks it quietly in my hooch that I had built out of spare bunks and mattresses and blankets and bed sheets. Feeling good, I finish the beer, but then I face the conundrum of getting rid of the bottle. Just then, a light wind blew toward the window from inside, which was odd because no other windows or doors were open in the place. I take it to mean to place the bottle back on the sill. I do so, and then turn to look and make sure nobody sees me. The coast is clear, everyone is asleep. I look back at the window and the bottle is just gone without a trace. Well, that seems perfectly normal. JPG. Vent the window and bed down and fall asleep easily because of the 15% alcohol in the beer. Next October I'm down there again and the same thing happens again. But this time it happens regularly, like every night regularly. Other than bringing me beer, the other ghosts didn't do anything, but it was always a Pauliner Munchin. Never anything else, just that one. And they didn't sell it on Hohenfels, not at the time I was there anyway. Maybe he was the local Pauliner Munchin rep. Do German beer brewers hire ghosts to give free samples of their product? The General is an asshole who dive bombs me during WLC with a Recon Drone. 14th of December, and I am at Fort Indian Town Gap doing WLC. Warrior Leader Training. Now it's called BLC Basic Leaders Course. It's been a long month. We have had people fail out and be sent home, and I kinda envy them because they are home and warm with their families and loved ones during Christmas time. I, on the other hand, was out on the land nav range and freezing my ass off trying to find these map marker points in the time allotted so that I can not fail and be able to continue my Army career. So there I am on my way to my final point. It has been a long, grueling day and I can't feel my feet. And we are required to do this shit in full battle rattle, full armor. When I hear this sound, yay, The sound came from the sky, so I looked up and I saw a drone. Then someone yelled at me from the distance on the road I am using as a reference point to navigate along to the next point. It's also an easier path to travel. I look down the road, and I see some guy with a device in his hand. He yells at me, "Catch it, goddammit, catch the thing or you're gonna be out on your ass." Da fuck? Hear it coming again and I see it. It's a drone about the size of my cat failing to stay aloft. Quick thinking kicks in. I can't move fast enough to catch it while in my armor, so I pop the clip holding my helmet on and then I pull the ripcord on my body armor. And it all just falls off and I sprint. Luckily, I get there just in time to catch it and fumble it slightly and then gently manage to get a good grip on it again so it doesn't hit the ground or get damaged. So now I have this drone in my arms and there's some balding fattish guy in uniform jogging to me calling out, "Is it damaged?" He gets to me and he is a 3-star general. I panic and try to figure out how to salute with my arms full of drone. Don't worry about saluting specialist, it's okay, just don't drop it. On the way back, he asks me if I have clearance. I tell him I do and what it is. He had one of his lieutenants pick up my armor and helmet and carry it back to their tent they were operating from. He tells me I didn't see anything that was in the tent. I got to see what the whole thing was and how it worked, and that it was still in the testing phase as a recon drone, yada yada. It was kinda cool. He asks me how much time I had left, and I had a timer on my wristwatch, and he sees I have about 15 minutes left, asks where the point is that I'm going to, and I tell him. He asks who my WLC instructor is, and I tell him. Whips out his phone and then calls the guy. Guy adds 10 minutes for me, for having helped the general. I make it to my point in time without needing the extra 10 minutes. On the way back to the rally point so we can load up into some trucks and get taken back to the barracks to warm up and get food, I hear the sound of a dive bombing drone again. I look up and it dives straight for me, then pulls up and flies off. I know that the general was on the other end. I know he was goofing around with his new $1 million toy, and I know he was screwing with me on purpose. Fort Eustis Swamp Thing is a dick. So fast forward to spring of 2015, and we are doing land nav bullshit in the pouring rain because our leadership are a bunch of rampaging idiots and think that it's impossible for people to get hypothermia while they are soaked to the bone and the wind is a chilly 68 degrees. Well, the best part is we were hiking around in a swampy, muddy area of Fort Eustis, and the rain is not helping. It's near dusk and we are headed to our final point, having given up on the first 3 because none of them were where they were supposed to be. I know this because I cheated on purpose and used my phone to pull down global coordinates so we could orient ourselves on the map. Both times the point was not there. The third time the points were both there. Both of them, leaning up against the third point, which was suspended in a tree 5 meters above the swamp. We get pissed and cuss about it, and then stop when we start hearing a gravely laugh coming from seemingly everywhere. Well, what are we going to do? The laugh gets louder and we hear crashing coming towards us. Nope, out of there. Look at map and locate the nearest solid ground, which is a railroad track 1/4 mile away. We book it. The plant life starts to get thicker and thicker as we get closer. We start having to go around that shit. Laughing starts up again. Fuck this. I pull out my boot knife and everyone else pulls out theirs too, and we start sawing away at vines and shit that's in our way so we can carve a direct route. Laughing turns to angry howls. That spurs us onward, and we break through to where the track should be, and it's just not there. I pull coordinates. Compare with a map. Should be here, where the hell is it? Howl turns to laugh again. Start noping in the direction of where the track should be going. Laughing begins to fade in distance, and we begin to hear highway sounds. Keep going and come across a highway. Google Earth shows that we are on the other side of the highway, 10 miles away from where the training area is and from where Fort Eustis is. And we are in an area of a public park. What the actual fuck? Everybody checks their phones, all confirming their location. We call in a ride and turn around to see what we just ran out of. And there it fucking is. A hiking trail in the public park across the highway from Fort Eustis. We hike to the park office at the entrance and go inside, pissed. They ask what happened and why we are doing training in public land like we are not supposed to. We explain. The park warden believes us and says it happens occasionally. Said one guy last year said they saw a swamp thing and it was chasing them. Swamp thing is a dick.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.